Welcome back. So since I got the frame pretty much done, sitting right over there, under its own weight with its own suspension and everything, time to start taking apart this thing. So I'm gonna start by dropping the motor and trans and the cradle and the front suspension and everything. I think that's probably gonna be the hardest thing, so I'll do that first, drop it out. Then I'll move on to the rear suspension, gas tank, and then just kind of go from there. Get the underside of the car, cleaned up, get it barren under there, and then go from there. I don't know if I'm going to video it. There's a video I want to watch on YouTube while I'm working on getting the engine out. So I don't know. I can't record while I'm doing that. But that part of this won't be very exciting anyways. All it is a stock DeVille V8 coming out of a stock DeVille. So when I start cutting the frame and cutting the fenders and the hood and getting everything put on the frame, yeah, that's gonna be definitely exciting. So all right, let's get this thing dropped out. All right, well, that was fun. It actually went a little bit better than I thought. So you can see, obviously, there is no motor in here anymore. So yeah, I was surprised. There was only one hose that I forgot to disconnect out of everything. And it wound up disconnecting itself. So that's pretty good. It worked out. So if anyone's in the market for a Cadillac 4.1 liter V8, let me know. Here it is. It actually ran quite good, not gonna lie. I was really surprised. Yep, let's move on to taking apart the rest of the car. We'll start at the rear. Since I removed so much weight from the front, I want to a little bit, because now, probably not really noticeable, but now it's slightly tilted like this because there's no weight on the front. So I'm going to remove all that weight, all that dead weight, get the car back even on the lift for safety reasons, and just keep removing things that I'm not going to need. One thing that I did that I've never really done before was I started labeling all these wires. So like these go to ground. This is air conditioning, small line. I think that's high pressure. I don't know. I've never messed with AC before, so I just figured, let me label everything. This was connected to the sensor on the dryer. I got some down here. Let's see, that's the charcoal canister, washer, pump, washer level, sensor, horn, etc. So what I'm gonna do eventually, I'm gonna cut the frame at the firewall area to bring the front end forward. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take all those wires and I'm gonna put 2 labels on each wire and then cut it between the labels. So that way, when I go to rewire everything, because I'm gonna have to extend the wires, then I can just go A to A, B to B, C to C, etc. Same thing on this side. Although I think there's a lot I'm not gonna need. Like these all went to the engine. I'm not gonna need those. There was, I think this one went to some kind of air pump. There was a small air pump for the automatic rear suspension leveling system, because I didn't know this, but apparently Cadillac in this generation offered a factory tow package for these DeVilles. So when you look at the rear and you see it's got a hitch on it, bought the car, I was like, oh wow, this thing's got a hitch on it. That's kind of crazy. Who would tow with a DeVille, right? And the guy told me it's got a factory tow package, and sure enough, it really does look like a factory installed hitch. It's got factory rear leveling system. So this is just cool, so I'm going to show you. So the shocks actually have a little air line going up to them, and when you turn the car on, if it's not set at a certain level, see there's like a level sensor back in there. So if it's not set at a certain level, that I guess the air pump will turn on and pump air into the rear shocks and actually lift it up. So I thought that was really cool. I wonder if I can use that air pump for anything else. I'm going to keep it nonetheless because it's a free air pump. I mean, not a super heavy duty pump, but it's something, right? So glad I got the motor out. I think that was the hardest part about this teardown, hopefully. And yeah, just keep on keeping on. All right, so the underside is all taken apart. No more gas tank, no more rear suspension, no more fuel lines or brake lines. It's pretty barren under here besides the cobweb or two, you know. It went pretty well. Again, though, I mean, it was just taking apart a stock Cadillac DeVille, right? So, no biggie. What's next? I don't know what's next. I guess we'll see. All right, so back again, working on the Cadillac, of course. I think I decided today I'm gonna attempt to get the front end of the car cut off. So you can see I made some tape marks going down the sides. This is where I'm gonna wanna cut it on both sides. And I actually put some reference pictures up here. So you can see on this one how the fender comes up, and like right after the turn, that's where it's cut. So I tried to do my best with this fender to match what's on the real guy here. And then just some other pictures too as I move along the build. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean up the wiring in the engine bay. I'm going to sort it out, see what I need, what I don't need. Might have to go ahead and take the ECU out, or at least disconnect it so I can pull the harness out. So yeah, that's the main harness, engine harness right here. Goes through the firewall. It's actually kind of nice. And clean up some other stuff, all this stuff over here. Figure out what I need and what I don't need. And what I do need, I'm going to label and cut the wires, so that way when I put it back together in the future I'll know which wire goes where. And then this bundle as well right here, these are for kind of like headlights, turn signals, parking lights, things like that. All right, so let's go. Alright, so I got the wiring cleaned up, got the engine bay cleaned up. I think I'm ready to start cutting. Let me show you what I got here. Okay, so there's driver's side. You can see I've got my labels on these wires that are going up to like headlights, parking lights, turn signals, all that jazz. And then the rest of the wire, they're just draped over for now. And same on this side. Here's same thing, headlights, turn signals, whatever's in there. And the rest is just kind of draped over there for now. Something that I thought was really interesting, which I never realized, but there's little fiber optic cables on these headlights. So one here and a few up in there somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, right there. Zip tie out of the way. Right there. And they go up into the fender, and I was like, oh man, if they go all the way through the fender and I try to cut this fender, I might cut those fiber optic lines. Like, what do they do? What are they for? Well, it turns out they run up to here, and when you turn your headlights on, it actually it's like an indicator to the driver to let you know your headlights are on. So these lights light up when your headlights are on, and I have never seen that before. I thought that was really cool, and how I found out was I asked some questions on the forum. Hey, what is this? What is that? What does this do, etc. And I heard back. So it's safe to cut fender because, you know, if the lines only go up to here and I'm cutting back here, no problem. Let's see what else. Here's something cool. So since this is going on a truck frame with truck brakes and truck wheels and truck this and truck that, it needs a truck brake master cylinder. And fortunately, it's a GM vehicle going on a GM frame. So I thought, wouldn't it be cool if the Silverado truck brake master cylinder bolted right onto the booster? And what do you know, it does. Even the electrical connector from the DeVille connects into the Silverado electrical sensor, level sensor. That is so crazy. Oh man, so if anyone's wondering, yes, a 2001 Silverado brake master cylinder will bolt right on to an 87 Cadillac DeVille brake booster. That is just wild. But hey, one less thing I have to worry about. Two hard things coming up. This cut will be easy, you know, I'll go through there and I'll go through there. When I cut this section off, you know, kind of in line with the firewall, it might be pretty easy on this side because there's space in here, like around the components. But on this side, the air conditioning HVAC system is like right up on there. So that's going to be very hard to cut that without destroying this. Honestly, I don't know if I want to take this out. I guess it depends how hard it is. Now that I'm looking, it looks like it's just all bolted from this side. So maybe I can take the bolts out and pull it out. I'll have to do some more looking, but first let's get these cuts. And then the next thing is a clutch master cylinder. So the windshield wiper motor is right in the exact place where I would need to put a clutch master cylinder. The good thing is this is coming out, so there will be nothing in here. So maybe I can put my clutch master cylinder kind of, instead of on the firewall, I can move it out some in front of this. Or what I might have to do is get the style of clutch master cylinder that is just the cylinder, and you use a remote fluid thing or whatever, and maybe I can fit it up under here and then have the fluid going to it remotely. So I'll worry about that later. Yeah, I just wanted to keep you guys in the loop for, you know, the 1 or 2 people that are actually watching this. And it is coming along pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. And if anyone has a lead on an NV4500 GM 2-wheel drive transmission, let me know, because I think that's going to work out a lot better than this SM465, because the distance from the bell housing surface to the shifter is so short on the 465. On an NV4500, it's like way back here is the shifter. And I think that'll work out a lot better for this application because of how the body is. You know, there's really not much of a hump, and I don't know, it's one of those things where I'm just gonna have to get the body on the frame, lower the engine somewhere around the area where it might go, and see what happens. But I have to avoid stuff like this and move the engine forward. then that shifter is going to want to come through like right here, which is like way forward on the floor of the car, you know, from the inside. And I don't think that's going to work. So I've been keeping an eye out for an NV4500, but man, they are expensive. So let me know if anyone's got a deal for me. All right, here we go. All right, well, how many people get to say they've cut a Cadillac in half? Pretty cool. It actually went pretty decent. Yeah, just run a blade right through everything. It works. There we go. Pretty nice. No fiber optic cables, right? Because they only went to right here, so that's good. Let's see. Now I get to take off what's left of the fender, and then cut the frame and whatever else is above the frame right here at the firewall on both sides. All right, that actually went so-so, pretty good. What I'm really happy about is I didn't have to remove the HVAC thing, the blower motor assembly and everything. I got a little slice right there, but I was able to angle the Sawzall just right to cut all the way through the metal, but not cut into the plastic here. So that thing stayed on there. Look at that. It's going to be so easy to work on this thing. Heater hoses right there. AC hoses right there. Wire come through the firewall right here. Oh, heck yeah. What I'm going to do next, I think, is I'm going to make some plates to cover these holes. Weld them in right here, right here, right here. I got a little mess up right here. I'll have to figure that out, but I'll figure that out. And then right here. So, yeah, I think we're going to do that next, and then we will regroup. All right, got some plates made. I made some cardboard templates over here, top and bottom on each side, driver, passenger. So we got passenger top, passenger bottom, driver top, driver bottom, right there. And they're actually on there pretty good. Not welded or anything, they're just sitting on there, but pretty tight fit already. So just going to weld all the way around it, probably tape off the door, tape off the windshield, tape off stuff over here, and then just paint all the exposed area on both sides. And of course down here, I probably won't video the welding. I think this video is already a bit long.